This is Issues Pane Nyaya, a Chengeto Zimbabwe initiative supported by I Am Swedish Development Partner. Issues Pane Nyaya seeks to challenge the status quo on various social issues.
Good evening, Zimbabwe, and welcome back to another episode of Issues Pane Nyaya, supported by I Am Swedish Development Partner. My name is Rejoice Nyewerwai. On this episode of Issues Pane Nyaya, we are continuing with the discussion on disability, and I just want to mention that we've got in the studio the lady who coined the new hashtag. Lucy Masauso coined a new hashtag when we were at the Disability Summit a few weeks ago. The hashtag that replaces disability with this ability. So you will hear that throughout the program, we are replacing disability with hashtag this ability. Many thanks to Lucy Masauso, and well done to Lucy for creating a new hashtag. Welcome Lucy Masauso and Tonderai Makora to Issues Pane Nyaya. They've got as their voice tonight Veronica Mwanza, who is going to be signing and telling us and telling them she's the connection between ourselves and Lucy and Tonde, who are both deaf. As the show progresses, please let us have your feedback. We're on 0773 910095 at Issues Pane Nyaya on Twitter, on our Facebook page, Issues Pane Nyaya. Veronica, welcome to Issues Pane Nyaya.
Thank you so much.
Veronica, do you want to just maybe start off by telling us how you find it being the voice of people like Lucy and Tonderai, who cannot speak for themselves, and you have to sign and be the conduit for communication between a person like me who's not able to sign and people like Lucy and Tonderai?
I've always wanted to do it. Since I was in grade 5, I fell in love with sign language. I wanted to help people. So for me, it's a dream come true. I'm doing what I really wanted to do, and I'm actually happy.
Fantastic. I'd like to know from, first of all, from Lucy. I'd like her to introduce herself and tell us when she became deaf. Was she born deaf?
Well, my name is Lucia Masauso. I was born hearing, but later on I fell sick when I was 10 years old. That's when I became deaf. And ever since then, I've faced so many challenges because of that illness. It took away my hearing ability. So life has been difficult since then. At home, my family, they couldn't accept the fact that I was deaf. There was communication breakdown. I couldn't communicate with my parents. It was so disappointing and difficult as well. That's when my life changed.
Okay. And to Tonderai. And Tonderai, we know of Tonderai using the ear. Why do we use the ear when we are talking about Tonderai?
It's because I have an ear piercing.
Okay, all right. Were you born deaf, Tonderai?
I was born hearing. As you have heard, my name is Tonderai Makora. I was born hearing, and when I was 8 years old, around grade 4, I felt sick of malaria. And I spent 3 weeks in hospital. So when I went back to school, when my friends discovered that I was deaf, they just left me. I was lonely. I felt so low. I couldn't communicate with my friends, my teachers. Our life was just difficult. So I continued with my school, but I was moved to the resource unit center. So we were learning, we were mixed with children with different disabilities, the deaf, children with CP. It was just difficult to concentrate in that class.
So were you able to then write your grade 7 and go on to high school, Tonderai?
Yes, I was able to then write my grade 7. I passed. I had 8 units. So when I moved to another school, the secondary school, it was a mixed school with deaf people also. But it was also hard for me there because it was my first time to learn sign language. So I continued to learn. I was willing to work hard and learn this new language because I knew that it was now my initial language. So right now I can sign.
I can see you signing, and I was actually able to pick up some of the words that you are signing because you are actually speaking them as you're signing. Did you actually get to go to school after 10 years old and finish your grade 7 and write your exams?
Yes, I was able to go back to school and continue with my education. But the challenge was that my teachers didn't understand sign language, especially in secondary school. It was a challenge. When I was asked, when I was in primary, I was asked to join the resource unit school class. I refused because I didn't want to be mixed with different children with different disabilities. It was confusing for me to be in that class. So I was able to pass my grade 7. I had 8 units and then moved on to secondary school.
And how was it in secondary school?
When I passed grade 7, I moved to Mount Pleasant High School. For the first time, the headmaster understood. He understood my condition. It was like, it's okay, Lucia, you can be in a class, you can learn together with others. But I discovered that only my maths teacher could understand me. Once the maths subject was over, I couldn't do Shona, history, science, and all other subjects because all the teachers did not understand sign language, and they were afraid at times. So maybe when they came for a lesson or maybe an exam, I would simply walk out of the class. Or maybe they would just give me notes to copy, but no one could explain to me in sign language. I became so lonely. I was always lonely in school. It was difficult for me to learn. So when I was in Form 3, I dropped out. Because there was no point going to school just to sit alone watching others learn. I dropped out.
And where did you go after you dropped out? What did you do with yourself?
When I dropped out, I started working at Paramount Garments. They taught us how to sew uniforms, work suits, and all other different things. That's where I worked for 3 years.
And then what did you do afterwards?
When I was at home, I continuously asked myself, why can't I go to school like everyone else, like every child is? So I learned about Deafzimtrust, and I met Barbara, the Deafzimtrust director. I asked her for a favor, if it was possible for me to maybe work at Deafzimtrust and continue with my education there. Barbara agreed and we made an arrangement. So I would work in the morning up to maybe 1. Then when I finished, I would focus on my studies. So right now I'm still at Deafzimtrust. I passed my O levels with flying colors.
Well done.
And I must say I'm still at Deafzimtrust and I'm working as a programs assistant.
Wonderful. Well done, well done, well done, well done. How did you end up at Deaf Zimbabwe, Tonde?
So when I was at school, I said, yeah, it was okay because there was a language there, but it was difficult for me. So I decided to change schools. That's when I learned about the Deafzimtrust school. I met Precious from Zimbabwe. So I told her my story and I told her that I wanted to continue with my education. I wanted to write again. Precious encouraged me and there was hope in my life. So that's when I started working with Deafzimtrust and I passed my O levels.
Well done, well done, well done. Lucy and Tonderai from Deaf Zimbabwe, and they're just walking us through the journey of their lives. We are fulfilling our pledge that we made at the summit last week, that we would raise awareness on disability, that we've now changed to disability issues in the country. And this week we're just focusing on people who are deaf and hard of hearing. We've learned from these two that they were not born deaf. They did hear until they fell sick with one disease or another when they were young, around the ages of 10, and then they became deaf, and we're just learning how they've moved from that time to now, and they're telling their life stories. Please participate in tonight's program. We are on 0773910095 at Issues Pane Nyaya on Twitter, on our Facebook page, Issues Pane Nyaya. Lucy, before we came into studio, I asked if you were married, and you told me that you were married. Do you want to tell us about your family and your husband?
I'm just quite shy. I met my husband. It's so funny, you know. I met my husband some time back. He always made me happy. He's like a drama king. He's always acting and all that stuff. So I fell in love with that.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Have you got any children yet, or are you?
Yes, I have 2 children. I have 2 beautiful children.
How old are they?
The first girl is 6 years and the boy is 2 years.
So how do you communicate with the children? You've already taught them how to sign?
Yeah, both my children are hearing. My daughter, yeah, sign languages. I always teach them. Except for the son. The son is still young and he picks up little bits and pieces of sign language, but they're all learning.
And your husband?
Yes.
Does your husband hear?
My husband is deaf as well.
Okay, so you're teaching the children sign language.
Yes.
Mr. Tonde, tell us about the love life.
No, I'm not married yet. I'm single
and searching. I figured that one out when I saw that. I knew you were searching. What sort of girl are you looking for, so that I can also keep my eyes and ears open when I'm walking around for the right girl for you?
I want a beautiful girl, a very, very beautiful girl.
How do you define very, very, very beautiful?
Hey, yellow bone, of course.
All right, okay. So she has to be a yellow bone.
Yeah.
There you go. Tonderai is defining beauty by Yellowbone. So girls out there, if you want this, no dark girls should be applying to Tonderai, and applications are being taken through me. I'll be doing the vetting. He will not take anything that's dark. So if you're dark like me, you forget it. He will not look at you. He won't even look at you.